we're supporting our community and they're supporting us. It's a symbiotic relationship. We're all in this together. We try and stay local with a lot of things that we do. The products that we have in the tasting room are from the state of Virginia. Once a month we pick a charity that's something that's local that impacts our community. Everybody's favorite wine is different. It's never the same. It changes the palate, it changes the taste of the food. And finding those combos together are really cool. And to watch somebody start to understand that is really great. Dad always had a passion for wine. My dad went by Dennis Dunn Horton, and that's my father. I'm second generation Shannon Horton. There's some things that we keep here back at the winery, so you have to come to my tasting room. You have to come visit me. He has 42 wines. It's a lot of wine, but it's also the one-stop shop because you've got something for every palate. There's no magic key to it all. It's always make a good product, do the very best that you can with whatever you have, treat it with respect. To try and document his legacy. A lot of people don't realize how much Dennis contributed to the wine industry. He was a maverick. He was out there. He wasn't afraid to experiment. He wasn't afraid to try things on his own, to do his own thing. He brought Viognier to the state and Cabernet Franc. These are two big staples that are throughout the state now. He changed a lot of things of how the Virginia wine industry is viewed. His 1993 Viognier winning in California and in an overseas competition put Virginia wine on the map.
My name's Andy Reagan. I'm the winemaker at Horton Vineyards. Been very well acquainted with the Hortons and have always had a tremendous amount of respect for them and all that they have done for the Virginia wine industry. These barrels, for years and years, have always been this size. Go through and we'll stir the barrels about once a month or so. So for white wines, usually about 6 months in barrel. And for red wines, we'll do about 2 years, depending upon vintage. For kind of our middle tier red wines, will be about a year in barrel. And we get a good selection of oak. The main oak that we use is French oak. When they make a barrel, it's from a specific forest in France. You can have a specific blend of each forest. Basically what happens is the wines will absorb sugars from the barrel. Oak has different sugars inside of the barrel, and when they toast them, caramelizes those sugars and makes it more available to the wine. So when you put the wine in the barrel, it absorbs those sugars. Once the wine does that, you get all of these great flavors of chocolate, leather, vanilla. And it all comes from the oak, coupled with how good of a job you did in the vineyard growing your grapes and ripening them. So it's kind of a really beautiful process of when they combine and you get a wine at the end after 2 years and it tastes like chocolate covered cherries. After we're done with the wine aging in the barrels, you just go through blending trials. You have all of the different varieties in the world, whether it's Chardonnay or Cabernet Franc or Tannat or Norden. So it's a really great tool to have all of these different varieties. You can make a wine that's more complete, more mouth-filling and more tannic, and just like a longer wine, a more complex wine, which is what most people would really appreciate if you're into finer wines. And then we go ahead and filter a wine, and then we have a mobile bottling line that comes in, and we go ahead and just bottle it. Once it's bottled, we allow it to kind of hang out. If it's not too popular, but preferably we'd like for it to hang out for about 6 months or so before we release it for sale. We really believe in hands-on winemaking, hands-on viticulture. We do everything to make certain that all of the hard work that it takes to grow really good grapes in Virginia can produce a fine bottle of wine.
He would go to Europe and he fell in love with the Rhone region in France. He knew he wanted to build a large winery that looked like a castle and a chateau. He didn't want to go with a refab building that was very popular at the time. He fell in love with viognier, that grape. He found that it was a loose cluster, that it had thick skins, which made it less permeable to a lot of the moisture that we had here. He was always looking for different grapes and different varietals to try different things, to see what they would do here, to see if that was even a possibility of something that could happen in Virginia. He approached winemaking and the wine industry the same way. If you did something right and you did it really well, then you would take off from there. He enjoyed it so much. One of the quotes that the Department of Agriculture shared after he passed away was, he had stated in a board meeting, "I can't do this forever, but I think I gave all of you the groundwork of what you need to do to make this move forward." And he always made it feel like you weren't walking into a tasting room or a business, you were walking into his living room. You were walking into his house, and this was the house that he built. Our license number for our winery is 43.